meditation is a really important thing. And one aspect of meditation that I'm talking about is it reduces stress. Now, that's not the deepest, most important part of meditation, but decreasing stress is very important for longevity. And we do know that people who've been meditating for 5 years actually have a physiology that's 15 years younger. We're going to look at one aspect of that, which is stress. Now, what does stress do? It's a mental state, okay? It's how we experience the world. And it raises cortisol. And cortisol is your friend in an emergency. But chronic release of cortisol from chronic stress actually is detrimental to your body. It actually shrinks your brain, okay? And stresses all your organs. And one of the areas that really I became aware of it is in my work with healing type 2 diabetes naturally. I saw that people, they come in with a whole lot of insulin resistance where the body won't respond to insulin that you're secreting, and you make higher and higher amounts of insulin, and that is not so good for you. And cortisol tends to stimulate insulin resistance. Now, when we take a look at it, cortisol also lowers growth hormone, and it lowers serotonin. Now, that's a neurotransmitter of the brain. When your serotonin is low, you tend to crave carbohydrates. What happens then is carbohydrates brings you into having too much sugar and then begins to create insulin resistance. And the result of that is you ultimately can go all the way into type 2 diabetes. So everything is wound together. So stress increases cortisol. Cortisol increases all the chronic diseases. High cortisol also tends to disrupt your sleep. And we need adequate sleep so we can make adequate serotonin as a major neurotransmitter, as an antidepressant that creates a sense of well-being. So where does this all go? It all goes, having heard kind of a more scientific way of thinking about it, it all goes to how do we create a lifestyle that minimizes stress and gets us that, what the research says is 7 to 9 hours of sleep. How do we do that? And with that lifestyle, we're talking about exercise, we're talking about flexibility. As you see me sitting here in full lotus, that's to make a point. Because at any age, my age is 78, my chronological age that is, not my physiological age, is we can get younger. We can decrease the stress. We can reverse the results of stress in our body. But one of the interesting things about reversing the results of stress in our body by exercise, by meditating, by eating in a healthy way, by getting adequate sleep, those are basics. Those are lifestyle basics. We don't have to get any fancier than that. And one other point is that when we decrease stress and we get more sleep and we get more exercise, we increase the length of our telomeres, which are like the caps of our chromosomes. And the longer our telomeres are, the longer we live. There's a connection there, isn't there? So these simple things I'm talking about, good sleep, decreased stress, exercise, meditation, eating in a healthy way, all support lengthening the telomeres. And they can lengthen. Any age, we can lengthen our telomeres and increase our longevity. So I'm giving a formula here that is important. But there's one other thing. It's called a little bit of humor. You have to laugh. Joy is a very important thing. Spiritual joy is a really important thing. So when we put all those together, we meditate, we have spiritual joy, we exercise. You don't have to exercise that much. You have to have minimum 3 times a week for intense exercise, maybe 16 to 23 minutes. None of this is out of our reach. We're not talking about diving to the bottom of the sea or climbing to the highest mountain. No, we're just talking about making some changes in our life that can actually give us vitality and enhanced longevity. That's what we're talking about. You can get in touch with me at drcousens.com or treeoflife.mn.co to get further information, training, and support in how to make this lifestyle shift that will give you more vitality, more joy, more happiness, more flexibility, more strength, and ultimately more longevity.